putting together this boatcast for the Tour TV crew. Honey Boom Boom, who will be our director and producer all weekend. And I'd like to also thank our camera crew because they just don't get enough thanks. We've got Papa Koopa on camera, Robotomy, Toque, Jesse Wanagas, and they are the camera crew for this opening game of the 2014 Quad City Chaos.
Without them, you are blind.
That's right. So are we. So just a little bit of a recap. Montreal came out flying in that the beginning of the first half, and at one point had amassed a 100-point lead before Ohio started to turn things around.
Well, they turned things around, and I think there were a few more difficult jams on the Montreal part. Penalties started happening. There was that, unfortunate jam with Greta Bobo where she couldn't get out of the pack, and then suddenly it was like a 3-jam bind that they were finding themselves in when they were getting lots of penalties, not just from Bobo, but from the pack in general. And Ohio caught on and started to catch up, and now they're trailing by 75.
That's right, trying to mount a little bit of a comeback. Both these teams with, this is earlier in their seasons, both with a lot of off-season changes to their roster. So we're seeing both teams make adjustments as they go here, and I expect we're going to see them both get a little tighter, a little better. But I have to say the level of derby, considering that it's early in the season, is very, very high.
Oh, absolutely. You can tell that these teams were, sitting around watching championships. Ohio was at championships. So they've been studying, and they, derby leagues don't tend to take a very long break.
Right, yeah.
I know that the Montreal League, November 1st, they're back at Taz working on the upcoming season, and which is 5 months, ago. So I think they work a lot, they watch a lot of derby, and they look at, what's going on, and they keep up.
Yeah, roller derbies, the season that never ends. But it does look good. And we talked. One thing we talked about too. One storyline is who will be the new jammer rotation for the Skids, and we've seen a pretty tight rotation of Greta Bobo, Meliwana, Honey Badger,
Miracle Whips,
and Miracle Whips seem to be a 4-skater rotation, and they're both getting about equal play time. All 4 of them are. So it'll be an interesting story to watch as this goes on.
Ohio also, relying heavily on Smacktivist, and as they should, because. She's proven throughout the bout and throughout last season that she really was a powerful jammer.
Yeah, that's right. And Smacktivist is out on the line for this power start here in the second half. Haven't seen much of other jammers really. Out of My Way Man's won the star a few times, a little bit of big rig. But Smacktivist is leading the offense for sure. And here we are on a power start for the Ohio Roller Girls, and Smacktivist very quickly making short work of that 3-wall and is your lead jammer at turn number 1. Nice patient offense from Ohio. You can do that when you've got a powerful jammer like Smacktivist.
That's right. Un super jam pour Smacktivist. Le premier jam de cette demi. Miracle Whips toujours au banc des punitions pour les New Skids.
4-3 pack advantage for Ohio, working well on this power jam. Smacktivist already around for a couple passes and coming through for another scoring pass. It's a dead pack and the first straightaway, and Smacktivist just pushing. Georgia W. Tush trying to get to the outside, and nice hit from the Skids, chasing Amy, and Georgia W. Tush dragging Smacktivist all the way back.
Miracle Whips qui revient au jeu. Elle n'est toujours pas passée, par exemple. Elle doit compléter son passage initial. Et c'est fait! Initial pass completed for Miracle Whips.
Nice job from Miracle Whips. Smack Daddy back on the pack now as the Ohio blockers run into some penalty troubles, and this next jam will be a 4-3 pack advantage for Montreal.
And Monster Muffin, a Canadian-made alter ego athletic clothing, Derby owned and operated. We bring you the best to look your best and play your best. To find yourself today at monstermuffin.com.
Monster Muffin is here in house too if you want to come by the bunker, especially for tonight's main events doubleheader. We'll have a full boutcast production for that tonight. All right, Kitty Lickerbottom out there. Forgot to mention her in the Ohio jammer rotation. She's been around for quite a while too.
Yeah, and doing very well too.
And here is Honey Badger now fighting with Ina Flash and Avatar at the front of the pack, finally making her way through at turn number 2, lead jammer for Montreal.
C'est Honey Badger qui est première jammeuse pour les New Skids. C'est Kid Lickerbottom au jam pour les Ohio All-Stars. Toujours aux prises avec la défensive de Montréal. Honey Badger de retour dans le peloton pour son premier passage cumulatif.
Surgical strike, and Little Mama just working over Kitty Lickerbottom at the back of that path.
Yeah.
Jess Bandit doing a nice job to fly back from the offense. Wow, and Kitty Lickerbottom finally just forcing her way through.
How did she stay up?
No idea. Impressive, because those are two very impressive blockers, too. Honey Badger with a nice little footwork to stay in bounds, but finally Avatar knocks her out. Nice heads-up play, though, from Honey Badger to stay in bounds, and Kitty Lickerbottom also getting recycled by Jess Bandit. And the Badger is through.
Yeah, ça passe pour Honey Badger. 5 autres points. 4 points pour Honey Badger.
Oh, nice work from Muddamai Wayman to open up a hold free Kitty Lickerbottom. Honey Badger, though, coming around to score already. Lorraine Acid with some nice defense. Out of my way, man, again, holding the outside line as Kitty Lickerbottom hits that pack. And once again, we're seeing the Skids allowing the defense to do its job. Avatar with a nice hit. And that's going to drag Honey Badger back. And another big hit from Little Mama drags Kitty Lickerbottom. This is a recycling party in this jam.
Well, this is a very highly defensive game, I find. Et ça passe pour Honey Badger, un autre cumulatif de 4 points.
So once again, that risk pays off as Kitty Lickerbottom still hasn't gotten through. Oh, finally a nice little helmet cover pass snuck through in the pack. Out of my way, man picks it up, but Little Mama promptly knocks her down. And the jam concludes. Nice job by the Skids to keep that star from getting on out of my way man's head.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I said, I think the star pass is going to be used more and more. It was a very difficult strategy to ref and to wrangle out, but I think it's getting easier. Teams are figuring it out, and oddly enough, it's been around since I remember, since the beginning of flat track roller derby, and just really not used very much.
And I think, like you said, loosening up the rules around it has made teams more willing to do it. Nice start defensively for the Skids on this jam, but Smacktivist able to work her way through eventually, but it's going to be lead jammer for...
C'est Smacktivist.
Yeah, Smacktivist. Yeah, I was a little confused there. Bobo threw first, but Smacktivist picked up the lead jammer status and called it off.
Yeah. And why would you carry on?
Exactly.
Greta Bobo was going to hit the pack first, so why bother letting some points go?
Especially when you are in deficit as they are, 187-112, just coming up to the 5-minute mark of the second half. Meliwana out there against Out of My Way Man on the Jackson Skates jammer line. 4-3 pack advantage, though, for the Skids.
And the difference, the point differential hasn't moved much since the beginning of the half.
Oh, pretty tight start to the second half, despite a power jam. And Out of My Way Man doing nice work to push Cheese Grater off that line. Eventually goes to the outside, gets by Jess Bandit, and is your lead jammer. Second in a row for the Ohio Roller Girls.
C'est Out of My Way Man qui est première jammeuse. Meliwana pour Montréal qui est très près derrière elle. Out of My Way Man calls off the jam. It looks like the tables were turned. Why bother?
Yep. Meliwana, very quick jammer.
Yeah.
He was making up a lot of ground. All right, Miracle Whip's out there in the black now. It's jam against Smacktivist.
And they really are working a tight bench rotation, Ohio. I remember with playoffs and championships, I think they were working with 9 skaters.
Yeah, and they seem to be doing about the same here today.
Well, Smacktivist is out every second jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not looking any the worse for the wear either.
Nope.
Despite the punishing defense from the Skids, which we're seeing right now as the packs enter turn number 2. Smacktivist trying to push her way through, and Smack Daddy with the big hit on the Smacktivist. But Smacktivist able to get up quickly.
Smacktivist pushes back.
And Miracle Whip's having a hard time with the 4-wall at the back of the pack, and Smacktivist is through. This is 3 straight lead jams if you're keeping track now. Also, if you'd like to talk to us, hashtag #TalkToQCC. Talk to the announcers. We will put your words on the air. Smacktivist again shrugging off another hit, for this time from Georgia W. Tush, and finally forced to call it off after picking up 3 more points.
She picks up 3 points. But let me tell you, Derby Note, about Neon Skates. While you're talking about Georgia Tush, Neon Skates' mission is to provide you with quality roller skates, accessories, and apparel. Neon Skates offers great customer services because they want you to be just as happy with your roller skates as they are, and will happily work with you to find the perfect skate and the perfect fit. Whether you're shopping for roller derby or recreational purposes, Neon Skates will try their darndest to make you a satisfied customer with 2 colorful locations in Ottawa and Montreal.
Well done. Just in time for the start of this jam, too. Honey Badger out there jamming in the black, and Neon for Montreal's new Skids on the block, and she gets through and is your lead jammer. Nice defense at the back of the pack
C'est Honey Badger qui est première jammeuse pour les New Skids. La jammeuse d'Ohio toujours prise avec la défensive. Hein?
Ohio starting to open up their jammer rotation a bit. It's Paige Bleed out there in the white. 0125 is their number. She is on her first jam of the game with the star. And she's having a hard time right now getting through this. The New Skids defense. Nice. Honey
Badger, un autre passage cumulatif, son troisième facilement à l'intérieur. 5 points pour Honey Badger.
And Little Mama heading to the box on a direction of gameplay penalty.
And I think I'm looking at the bench coach for Ohio, and they're saying pass the star.
Yeah, Paige Bleed has been stuck for a long time, and they've got Kitty Lickerbottom out there with the pivot stripe on, a much, much more experienced jammer. Oh, but finally, Paige Bleed able to get through, gets a nice little whip from Amy Spears. She is through.
But facilement, encore une fois, Honey Badger passe pour un autre 4 points, et she's going to trust the defense.
Once again, getting the call from the bench to keep it going, keep this jam alive, and with only one blocker on the track for Ohio, that's probably a pretty smart decision.
Why would she stop?
Sorry there, Ina Flash is the second blocker with Amy Spears.
Honey Badger carries on. C'est Honey Badger qui continue son jam très payant pour les New Skids. Seulement 2 bloqueuses pour Ohio pour l'arrêter, contre 3 pour les New Skids.
Oh, a nice hit there, knocking Honey Badger down. Very quickly back up. Jess Bandit working some nice defense with Scores Easy. Avatar trying to provide some offense and open up a hole, but Surgical Strike knocks her now to the outside.
Et le jam est terminé. 4 points, 4 autres points pour Honey Badger. You know, I have not seen Honey Badger play this way. I don't think I've ever seen her play this way.
Yeah, coming back. Sometimes athletes, you know, going through the rehabilitation, you become a little bit more aware of your body. You maybe train a little harder, and you sometimes can come back better than you went into the injury.
That, and I think she's damn hungry.
Yeah. Right.
She had a difficult season last year. She had the injury, and then she came back, and it sort of wasn't clicking for her. And I think this season she just said, all right, you know, time to go.
Buckle down, and she looks strong early in this game.
Absolutely.
Greta Bobo out on the track now to jam for the Skids. Having a hard time at the back of the pack as Out of My Way Man tries to force her way through the front. Demanda Lashing with some nice defense. Demanda Lashing, member of Team Canada, along with Smack Daddy and Georgia W. Tush.
And on the same line.
And Cheese Grater also out on the track. And a penalty now, a back block major being called, or just a back block penalty being called on Smacktivist Power Jam for the Skids as they're nearing that 100-point lead mark again.
Ouais, c'est Greta Bobo qui est en super jam. Out of My Way Man au banc des punitions pour un blocage au dos, et ça roule pour les New Skids. On dirait qu'elles ont repris l'élan qu'elles avaient au début du match.
And 4-2 pack advantage too, so not good for Ohio right now. Avatar going chest to chest with Greta Bobo. Goldie holder for so long. And Lorraine Acid now is the last line of defense. Nice big hit from Lorraine Acid right into the sternum, but Bobo shrugs it off, stands up, picks up 5 points. Biggest lead of the game now for the Skids. 106 points is the difference as Bobo comes around on another pass on this power jam. This time splits the defense right through the middle. Another big grand slam.
Ouais, un autre grand slam pour Greta Bobo qui est rendu sûrement à 20 points. That's got to be for Greta Bobo.
Yeah. And coming around very quickly on another pass. There's now 3 blockers on the track for Ohio.
But they are way at the front. They're yeah, that's it. No pack is called.
And sent
out
through.
Of play.
Another penalty for Ohio. And the Skids call it off just as Out of My Way Man comes out of the box. And she's going to head to the bench for Smacktivist. There's the 2 blockers in the penalty box, the Sugar Bomb penalty box here at the Quad City Chaos.
And if you want to talk to us, you can go on the Twitterverse and talk to us at Talk2 QCC.
Talk2 QCC. Smacktivist now with Meliwana. Meliwana playing a little defense, holding Smacktivist to the inside, but Smacktivist powers through yet again for not lead jammer though.
Nope.
Because it was already called.
Yeah, it was Meliwana who came out of the pack but fell.
Oh, and Lorraine Acid. Oh, I thought Meliwana had cut there, but Lorraine Acid being sent off on a penalty. So pack penalties building up for Ohio here.
But they did, neutralize one of those jams with the smacktivist, which I think is a small victory on its own.
Yeah.
With the way that she's been playing. She, I think when stars on a team leave, like Phoenix Buns, seems like there's a room for somebody else to step in and sort of claim that superstar status. And I think we are looking at one of the future stars or the present stars of Ohio right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Strong start to this game. And speaking of future stars, Miracle Whips also having a strong game, getting dragged back by the veteran Amy Spears. And that allows Kitty Lickerbottom to slip through as your lead jammer. But all 4 Skids line up at a back wall for some defense on turn number 2. Kitty Lickerbottom gets knocked to the outside by Georgia W. Tush, and sneaking through his Miracle Whips.
Yes.
Stealing the points.
3 points. Yeah, 3 points despite she wasn't lead jammer. I guess when you're all tangled up and getting hit, sometimes I think you just don't have the reflex to call it off.
Yeah, and it was just a nice burst of speed too from Miracle Whips.
Yeah, she didn't expect her to come around the pack so quickly.
Kitty Lickerbottom heading over to the
skate tech.
Yeah, skate tech, hopefully.
Yeah.
The EMTs are also over there, so we hope it's not a big problem. That would be a massive loss for Ohio. We'll keep you updated on that as we hear.
Yeah, looks like an ankle issue.
Smacktivist, though, speaking of, on the track, and Smacktivist heading to the penalty box. Cheese Grater, Little Mama working together to draw a penalty. Rare error from the Smacktivist, a cut. Will give back-to-back power jams now to the Skids, and this could put the game away.
Yeah, if you've got someone on the Honey Badger who's on a roll right now, you don't want to do that if you're Ohio. And another blocker for Ohio heading to the penalty box. So un super jam pour Honey Badger. Seulement 2 bloqueuses pour Ohio.
And all 4 on the track for the Skids. Oh, and a nice little move from Honey Badger to stay in bounds, evade the hit. Wow, great game so far for Honey Badgers. A third Ohio blocker gets back onto the track. They have a good defensive posture. Cheese Grater goes in, opens up a hole. Honey Badger still couldn't quite stay in bounds, but nice quick re-entry. And Lorraine Acid with some nice defense. Nice one-on-one defense here from the Ohio blockers. Trying to limit the damage. Amy Spears with a nice knockout. Oh, and it's going to be a pass. Little Mama.
Oh, yeah.
Another former jammer that we don't get to see jam too often anymore.
I think that's why she's the pivot.
Yeah. Nice.
So get that star and go.
She's still got the jukes in her. That was a nice little juke from Little Mama to pick up 5 points.
Yeah, Smacktivist sort de la boîte des pénalités. Il y a eu un passage de l'étoile pour Little Mama qui était la pivot des New Skids. Et ça va 5 autres points. Un autre grand slam pour Little Mama.
Wow, and the Ohio penalty box filling up. And there are a few skaters now who are running into some serious issues, as in could be fouling out issues.
Yep.
And once again, the Skid's going to let this jam go as Smacktivist comes back on to the back. Oh, and a nice move from Jess Bandit to knock Smacktivist out.
And I think you were referring to Out of My Way Man. We're looking at the whiteboard right now. Number 10, Laura Out of My Way Man is currently sitting on 6 penalties.
That would be a massive loss. This is what happens though when you do run with a short bench. You run with that risk of losing some of your top skaters. And Out of My Way Man has been out there, whether jamming or blocking, almost every second jam.
Yeah, and right now she's at there's a chance that they'll just bench her. Because if she fouls out, somebody else will have to take the penalty, and then they'll be really short 2 blockers again.
And I think you're right, Patrik. She was set to come on the next jam. They've just taken the star off and put it on Kitty Lickerbottom.
Yeah.
On the track, we have a very small pack, 3-2 pack advantage for Montreal. Smacktivist tries to power her way through Demanda Lashing, and Smacktivist with a forearm major is a forearm penalty heading to the penalty box.
Another one.
Wow.
Yeah, Meliwana qui est la première jammeuse pour les New Skids. Maintenant, Smacktivist au banc de punition. C'est un super jam pour Meliwana.
It was all that praise that we were heaping upon the Smacktivist. The announcer's curse.
I swear I didn't do it.
3-3 in the pack as Lorraine Acid rejoins things. Amy Spears coming back on the track too, so Ohio will have a full blocker crew for this power kill. And Meliwana, though, going it alone and doing a nice job of slowly peeling off those blockers till there are none left. 5 points.
Well, when you can push, you want to push them out of that engagement zone, and that's what she did.
And again, all 4 Ohio blockers lining up at the front of the pack. Nice little move from Demanda Lashing to open up the inside, which Meliwana gladly took. 5 more points for the Skids.
Absolutely. Open the door. I shall walk in.
And another pass. This time going to Demanda Lashing. Again, an experienced jammer.
No, I think it's Tush.
Oh, it's Tush, sorry.
Tush, yeah.
I'm judging it all on the hair. I guess
Tush
I should
is
look
now
at
a
numbers. Yeah, I know. And I just saw that flopping. And Demanda Lashing was out there as well, but she was not wearing the stripe.
No.
So couldn't take the pass.
Okay, 283 Montreal, 122 Ohio. It's looking more and more like Montreal is going to run away with it. 12 minutes left. Derby Nerd, I think that, the hard work that the new Skids have put in has worked, and the departure of Phoenix Buns has unfortunately hurt Ohio.
It has. Another injury update. Lorraine Acid is being treated to by the EMTs on the bench.
Yeah, she went back out. She was at the EMT table before. She went back out, and now she looks like she's in some pain.
Seems to be a hand issue, but that's, again, another massive loss for Ohio. So injuries and penalty problems wreaking their havoc on this Ohio All-Star team, as the Skids have really tightened things up here in the second half and are pulling away with it. And it's going to be another lead jammer for Miracle Whips with a nice little move, and it's going to be a power jam, as I believe that's Big Rig heading to the penalty box. Tough situation for Ohio.
Ouais, Big Rig, on l'envoie à la boîte des pénalités. Miracle Whips en Super Jam, son deuxième passage cumulatif, 5 points pour les New Skids.
And the Skids, again, just that patient split offense, sending one in, just trying to open up a hole, as Surgical Strike just did.
And she would.
With surgical precision.
Yeah, that's who I'd bet on.
And a nice little move on the straightaway for Miracle Whips to pick up 5 more points. The Skids have never lost at the Quad City Chaos. This is their first appearance since 2011.
Yep.
And they went 6-0 from 2010 to 2011. Nice to have them back. This is Ohio's second appearance at the QCC. They won all three games
they were there
last year,
weren't they?
Yep. And they did win all 3. Oh, Miracle Whips with a nice move.
It's like she hypnotized them.
Saw that little hole and just shot through. So yeah, this could be the first ever loss at the Quad City Chaos for the Ohio Roller Girls.
And Miracle Whips, very impressed with her speed. Jammers each have one thing that they do really well. Miracle Whips, from what I'm seeing right now, it's speed.
Speed, and she's also, I was going to say pretty tough. She just took a big hit.
Yeah.
Winced, but very quickly re-entered the track. And let's see if that lights a spark under, and it does. She hits that wall hard and splits them apart.
Big Rig de retour au jeu, et Miracle Whips toujours en Super Jam. Après un autre 4 points, elle arrête le jeu.
Wow, and without even noticing, the score is suddenly 312 to 122.
And you know who's watching this? CN Power.
Yes. CN Power of watching this game.
Yeah, CN Power up next. However, they'll be playing Bleeding Heartland. But CN Power and the New Skids on the Block of Montreal playing later tonight at 7, which I think will be sort of the game of the tournament.
I think so, yeah.
That old Montreal Toronto rivalry which seems to come around in many other sports. One in particular.
Yes. A bit of I think they've played over 700 times in hockey.
Yeah.
In regular season games. Amazing.
Oh, and a back block on Honey Badger, which means Smacktivist. You don't want Smacktivist out there on a power jam, but that's what's happening right now.
So Ohio, I think, would like to end this game nicely. It's the final 10 minutes of the second half. They've still got a big game coming up at 5 p.m. tonight against Bleeding Heartland. Ohio came into this tournament ranked 22nd in the WFTDA.
Yeah.
The Skids ranked 17th.
That's right.
So this is a little bit one-sided when you consider how closely they are in the rankings.
Yeah. But I think it's how you manage the losses of your big players, too.
Yeah. And they don't seem to have a big pool in Columbus to replace their skaters with, but we will see Gangrene, their B team, play today.
Well, and maybe we'll see the future of Ohio.
Yes, very well might. And they have gone to just an A-B system, too. There's no house league. Oh, and Smack Daddy with the big hit on the Smacktivist, but unfortunately Smack Daddy being sent off for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it looked like an illegal hit, and she looked like she was out of play, too. Smacktivist toujours en super jam. C'est un bon jam pour les Ohio qui avaient vraiment besoin d'un bon jam.
Yeah,
à ce point-ci.
15 points so far.
Ouais.
Honey Badger, though, back on the track, trying to work her way through this. Ohio pack takes a big hit from the Ohio defense. Smacktivist getting sent to the outside by chasing Amy. And Honey Badger through at turn number 4, and that was her initial pass, so no points picked up for the Skids on this jam yet. Tush with some nice one-on-one defense despite being surrounded by a bunch of Ohio blockers, forces that call off and brings that jam to a conclusion.
Let me tell you about Rumbling Rage Derby Shop. It's a Canadian roller derby owned based in Barrie, Ontario. Their mission is to provide you with accessible, high-quality products to play roller derby. So you can check them out at rumblingrage.com.
Skater-owned and operated, as with so many derby businesses.
Well, if I was shopping for roller skates, I'd want to buy them from someone who skates.
Yeah, exactly. Nice defensive start for Greta Bobo. Puts Smacktivist out of play, or out of my way man out of play. Oh, but Out of My Way Man forces her way through on the outside.
Yeah.
Nice job by Out of My Way Man, sitting on 6 penalties.
And she still picks up lead jammer status.
Playing as if she has none.
That's
Fearless.
right. That's right. Well, if you're going to go, 7 minutes left.
Yep.
Go for the gold.
Try and make up this differential again. This is a sanctioned game, so this will count in the standings. And we know that point differential does make a difference, especially where these two teams are so closely ranked.
Yeah.
The bigger the win, the bigger the points for Montreal.
Yeah, and I think that things are looking now. Montreal will benefit highly from this game.
All right. This jam is brought to you by the Sauce Shack, which is Toronto's #1 store for hot sauces, barbecue sauces, spicy snacks, infused oils, and gift baskets. They make actually delicious sauces. They've been coming to the Toronto Roller Derby games this season, and I've picked up a few of their hot sauces. It's good stuff.
I like that hot sauce is sponsoring Derby.
Yeah. A match made in heaven? I don't know.
That's right.
Oh, and Kitty Lickerbottom trying to stay off of her feet. Unfortunately, the momentum brought her back onto the track, and she is off for a power jam. Montreal, Meliwana with some nice footwork to get by Skate Crime.
Et c'est un super jam pour Meliwana. Kitty Lickerbottom de Ohio est envoyée au banc des punitions.
And Meliwana coming up now to the defensive wall. She's got Avatar to beat. She does, and she's through for another 5 points. A little bit of an update. Lorraine Acid is still being attended to by the MTs, and I have a feeling we're not going to see her for the rest of this game. It is a hand, maybe a dislocation, or hopefully nothing worse than that.
They're trying to immobilize the hand with popsicle sticks.
So a big loss, but it's nice to see Kitty Lickerbottom back out for Ohio, even though she's in the penalty box right now. And Meliwana coming back on this power jam again. And Skids going to let her go at it alone. She gets through. All 4 blockers back in the track now for Ohio. 3 for the Skids on there as Meliwana comes around for another pass. 200 points now is the lead.
Toujours en super jam, c'est Meliwana qui prend un autre grand slam. 5 points pour Meliwana. Elle arrête le jeu. Calls it off as she ices the opposite jammer in the box.
5 minutes remaining, and we have a timeout being called. This timeout is brought to you by Jackson Skates, and it is being taken by the Ohio Roller Girls.
Use the components in building a skate package to ensure optimal performance. The Jackson Create a Skate program provides retailers and skaters with the opportunity to mix and match components to create skates best suited to their performance requirements. Jackson Roller now carries a men's line of roller skates. Get fitted for your skates today at jacksonroller.com.
Do you know who's talking to QCC? Lightning Slim right now watching from just south of us.
Oh, Slim. He's going to be a beast.
Yes, he will be at the Beast of the East. All right, so we are underway here now. Just under 5 minutes to go in this one, in our opening game of the 2014 Quad City Chaos, live in the bunker in Downsview Park here in north of Toronto, Ontario. You're watching the new Skids on the block from Montreal in the black and neon against Ohio's All-Stars in the white from Columbus, Ohio. You can see in the background the EMTs attending to Lorraine Acid on the bench.
Yeah, still. Oh, yeah, they're immobilizing her wrist or finger. So maybe she will play the other game.
Yeah, these Ohio girls are known for their toughness.
Yeah.
I think Pippi Ripperstocking was half broken at regionals 2 years ago and just wouldn't get off the track. Her body limbs falling apart, but refused.
As long as there's no blood, we'll keep you out there.
Yes, or cover the blood up. Kitty Lickerbottom back on the track. Speaking of Ohio veterans, she's made her first pass coming around now on her scoring pass, but runs into that back wall of Skids.
Yeah, and lead jammer is Miracle Whips, though. She's picked up 4 points, and she's going to trust her defense, and it seems to be working because she's back at the back of the pack, and Kitty Lickerbottom is still fighting the defense on the first scoring pass.
And Miracle Whips now having a hard time getting around that last line of defense. Nice work from the Ohio blockers.
C'est Miracle Whips qui est toujours la première jammeuse pour les New Skids. À son deuxième passage cumulatif, son premier passage cumulatif, c'est Kitty Lickerbottom.
Nice footwork up on her toe stops to stay in bounds, despite getting hit. Kitty Lickerbottom having a hard time now. Cheese Grater knocking her out of bounds, dragging her back. All 4 Skids holding the front of that pack, and it is a dead pack. Oh, Miracle Whips went for the helmet cover pass, but it was nicely blocked. And Kitty Lickerbottom sneaks through, picks up 4 points.
Well, when a strategy develops, a strategy develops to counter that strategy, which is what we just saw. Keep the pivot and the jammer apart.
Little Mama, though, did eventually get the star, and she made it through, picked up some points, and she's coming around again for another scoring pass. Oh, a nice little stop and go from Little Mama. Outside in, and she is through. Picks up 4 more points. Skid's going to let the clock go in this one, I think.
Ah oui, Kitty Lickerbottom est toujours aux prises avec la défensive. C'est son premier passage cumulatif. Elle a sûrement pris des points. She passed the star. She picked up 2 points, 2 other points, but the New Skids must have had 5 scoring passes while all that was happening.
I don't know if you caught that at home, but Miracle Whips, to try and break up the pass, actually used her arm to hit the jammer's arm, and she got called for a form on that. That's an interesting way to, as the hands were meeting, she used her own forearm to break the link, which you can't do, but it did buy some time.
It did, but she landed in the box.
She landed in the box.
However, she was no longer the jammer.
Right. So
good on the Skids.
Could have been worse.
Yeah.
All right, lining up now at the 1234 Skate Company jammer line is the Smacktivist against Honey Badger. It's going to be a 3-2 pack advantage for Ohio. Demanda Lashing and Georgia W. Tush all alone on the track. And look at that, Lorraine Acid back on the track, taped up, put back together, and out there. Amazing.
Well, you can't keep a good derby girl down.
Oof. Big collision, lots of whistles and penalties being called. And Honey Badger.
It was the Smacktivist who picked up lead jammer status throughout the commotion.
Honey Badger able to get through. Only 3 blockers left on the track. Lorraine Ass is going to let Smacktivist go against this 2-wall. And Georgia W. Tush doing some nice one-on-one defense, but Smacktivist finally makes her way through.
Oh, and Honey Badger snuck through. 4-on-4.
Nice steal of 4 from Montreal.
Yeah, and that goes back to what I was saying. When you're being hit, you're not always aware of where the other jammer is. And this is what happened. Smacktivist was caught in the commotion, and she didn't realize that Honey Badger was just sneaking
right
in the back of the pack. And I guess it helps when you're little. And Honey Badger is small, and she was, skating small and snuck in for 4 points.
And Greta Bobo now and Smacktivist out there to duel on this jam. And Little Mama going chest to chest with the Smacktivist, who finally is able to break through and get past Chasing Amy and pick up lead jammer.
Was she not just there?
Yeah. I think they're just going to keep Smacktivist out for the rest of this game. There's only a minute left on the game clock, a minute and 30 on the jam. It gets called off. We will get at least one more jam in. I suspect this will be the last jam of this opening game of the 2014 Quad City Chaos. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can talk to us at #Toque2QCC. If you're on the Twitterverse, send us a tweet.
And let me tell you about rollerskating.ca. It is Canada's roller skate store, a trusted national online provider since 2005 and local skate shop in Woodstock, Ontario. Rollerskating.ca.
All right, and we are underway. The last jam of this game, between Montreal and Ohio. And it's going to go fittingly to the new Skids on the block. Meliwana is your lead jammer. Oh, and Chainsaw with their first jam of the game, I believe, with the star, number 19 for Ohio. Getting knocked around a bit by Miracle Wicks and Mange Malkou.
C'est Meliwana qui est première jammeuse pour les New Skids. Probablement le dernier jam de ce match. La jammeuse d'Ohio, toujours aux prises avec la défensive.
Oh, and finally, Chainsaw through. And the game clock has expired. There's 1 minute to go in the jam, and the Skids bench.
They've stood up.
Yeah, giving Meliwana the go-ahead to keep going.
Yeah.
But they are standing in anticipation of their first win of the 2014 season.
Ah, Meliwana just cruising through. Meliwana qui profite de sa vitesse pour prendre un autre 4 points.
And I think they're going to let this go. 40 seconds left on the jam clock. Meliwana gets knocked to the inside, but Ohio jammer getting knocked to the outside, so both getting recycled back to the back of the pack. Finally, Meliwana decides to call it off, save some energy. They've got 2 more games to play this weekend. And there it is, your unofficial final, 385 to 158. We will wait for confirmation on that, but nonetheless, the new Skids on the block have kicked off 2014 in a big way with a statement-sending game over the Ohio Roller Girls All-Stars.
Well, wow, I think they really wanted it too. They were sort of, this was not their last game of the last season, but I think it's the game that hurt the most.
Right. Yeah.
They really wanted to go to championships. Of course, so did Ohio.
Yep.
And on that day, it's Ohio who showed up to work, and they took it. And I think this was kind of an emotional victory on a team that delivered a tough loss to them last season.
That's right, and again, a slightly rebuilt new Skids on the block.
Yeah.
And they look good so far. They are taking their lap right now. Pretty good crowd here at the bunker, considering we're doing a low production inside until our doubleheader main event tonight. But if you are watching from home, you can tune in all day here.
Right.
The Tord TV crew will be, and guests will be boutcasting this full bout. What do we got coming up next, Plastik Patrik?
At 12, you will have Toronto CN Power, the local heroes, facing the Bleeding Heartland team from Bloomington, Indiana. 2 o'clock, Toronto-based Street Bruisers, the B team, against the Ohio Gangrene, the B team. Then we will take a short break. At 4:55, Ohio, and let's see if they will be skating with their injured skaters.
Yeah.
I suspect yes.
I think so, knowing this Ohio team.
They will be skating with Bleeding Heartland.
The Skids are coming over to the bench.
Everything I said was good. Everything I said was good. We're being threatened.
Yeah.
Threatened. This has never happened to us.
Smack Daddy, congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. We're fucking back. Let's do this.
Bleep.
Well, we shall see at 7 o'clock, Derby Nerd, because Toronto CN Power will be facing the new Skids on the block.
That's right, and that is going to be a hot one.
I
think they're referring to an article I published, but I didn't say the most inflammatory things in that article about the new Skids.
What did you say?
I don't even remember what I said, but I know it obviously inflamed them.
I think it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
Perhaps that was a strategy.
Material, yeah. All right, well, that's going to do it for this opening game of the 2014 Quad City Chaos. Coming up on the Boutcast, you will have Single Malt Scott and Monochrome to call the next game, so you will be in good hands. They're both very experienced announcers.
Yes.
And
we'll be watching.
That's right. We'll be watching, but we will be back on. Thanks for tuning in. Again, talk to us at Toque2 QCC for Plastik Patrik and the whole crew here at Tord TV. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back shortly.